Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Cipher. I am Maya.
Hello, Maya. Hello to all our friends listening around the world. I am Elias, and we are so incredibly happy to have you here with us today.
We are. Today, we are going to talk about a very deep and very real topic. We are taking a break from our usual mysteries to talk about the truly hard days in life.
Yes, we are not talking about small daily problems today. We are not talking about spilling your coffee or missing the bus.
Exactly. We are talking about the heavy moments, the moments that make you want to cry, or the moments that make you want to give up completely. Sometimes life brings some very heavy storms.
It really does. Sometimes people lose their jobs. Sometimes they get a terrible medical diagnosis, or a long relationship ends suddenly. It is a part of the human experience.
How do we talk about this kind of deep pain in English, Elias? What words can our listeners use when they feel this way?
When something terrible happens and your life changes suddenly, we often use the phrase falling apart. You can say, "My world is falling apart."
My world is falling apart. That is a very strong and very visual phrase. It feels exactly like that. It feels like everything you built is breaking into tiny pieces.
Yes, it does. It means nothing is going right, and you feel completely lost. When your world feels like it is falling apart, your brain does not know how to react.
I know that feeling. When things go wrong, my anxiety gets very high. I start to panic. I cannot think clearly.
That is a very normal human reaction, Maya. When we face a big trauma, our brains try to protect us. But sometimes they protect us by panicking. We start to imagine the absolute worst possible scenario.
Yes, if I make a mistake at work, I immediately think I am going to lose my job, and then I will lose my house. It is a snowball of fear. Fear makes us overthink. A very good phrase to describe that feeling, when your brain will not stop worrying, is "my mind is racing." My mind is racing. It means your thoughts are moving way too fast, like a race car. You cannot catch them. I use that phrase a lot.
Another excellent word for our students to learn today is overwhelmed.
Oh, overwhelmed is a perfect word. It means the problem is simply too heavy for you to carry alone. You feel like you are sinking under the water.
Exactly. You can use it in a normal sentence by saying, "I am feeling very overwhelmed right now," or "This bad news is completely overwhelming."
Sometimes being overwhelmed for a long time makes people feel deeply sad. They feel like they cannot get out of bed.
Serious. Deep sadness and depression are real struggles. When someone is in that place, they might feel like they have hit rock bottom.
Hit rock bottom? What does rock bottom mean in English? It sounds very heavy.
The bottom is the lowest part of anything. So hitting rock bottom means you are at the absolute lowest point in your life. You feel like things cannot possibly get any worse. You are at the very bottom of the hole.
That sounds terrifying. When someone is at rock bottom, it must be so dark.
It is dark, but there is a positive way to look at that phrase too.
How can hitting rock bottom be positive, Elias?
Well, when you fall and you finally hit the solid rock at the bottom, you can put your feet on that rock and you can use it to push yourself back up.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. When you are at the absolute bottom, the only direction you can go is up.
Exactly. But we must remember, climbing back up takes time. When people are at the bottom, we should never force them to be happy.
That is so incredibly important. I really dislike it when I am very sad and someone looks at me and says, "Just smile, be positive."
In modern English, we call that toxic positivity. It is when people force you to be happy or positive when you are actually suffering. It is not helpful.
No, it is not. If a friend loses a family member, you cannot just say, "Look on the bright side." That is actually very cruel.
It is cruel. Human beings need time to feel their pain. In English, we call this natural process grieving.
Grieving. Can you explain the word grief for our listeners?
Grief is the deep, heavy sadness you feel when you lose someone or something very important to you. You feel grief when a person passes away.
But you can also feel grief when a long marriage ends, or when you have to leave your home country. You are grieving the life you thought you were going to have.
Yes, exactly. It is a very painful process of saying goodbye.
So, if we cannot say, "Be positive," what should we say to a friend who is grieving?
The absolute best thing you can say is 4 simple words. I am here for you.
I am here for you. It is so simple, but it is incredibly powerful. It means you are not trying to fix their problem. You are just standing beside them in the storm.
Yes. You can also say, take all the time you need. This phrase gives them permission to be sad. It removes the pressure.
That is beautiful advice. You know, Elias, sometimes when I am grieving or feeling very anxious, I act on impulse. I try to change everything in my life to feel better quickly.
Acting on impulse is a very common reaction when we hurt. We just want the pain to stop immediately.
Let's explain that phrase. What does it mean to act on impulse?
It means making a very fast decision without thinking about the future. It is usually driven by strong emotion, not logic.
For example, if I have a terrible day at work, I might act on impulse and quit my job that exact same afternoon without having a new job ready.
Yes, and that is usually a terrible idea. You need your job to pay for your life. So what is the alternative? How do we stop ourselves from acting on impulse during hard days?
We need to use a great English phrase, take a step back.
Take a step back. Does that mean literally walking backwards away from the problem?
No, not literally. It means to pause, breathe, and look at the situation from a distance before doing anything.
I love that. When you take a step back, the problem does not feel like it is crushing your face.
you create space.
Exactly. You create space between you and the panic. And in that space, you can finally breathe.
Breathing is so important. When people are anxious, they forget to breathe deeply. Their chest gets very tight.
That is your body reacting to stress. Taking a slow, deep breath actually sends a signal to your brain that you are safe.
Sometimes I try to breathe, but my problems are still there in front of me. How do you stay calm in those moments, Maya?
Well, honestly, my faith is my anchor. When the storm is huge, I remind myself that I am not the one driving the boat. I trust that a higher power is watching over me.
My faith is my anchor. An anchor is the heavy metal object that stops a ship from moving in the strong wind. That is a beautiful metaphor.
Yes, life is difficult sometimes, but we can trust the process, drink a warm cup of tea, and keep going. But Elias, what if someone feels like they don't know how to keep going? What if their future looks completely dark?
You do not need to see the whole staircase, Maya. You just need to see the very first step.
I really like that. You just need to focus on today. In English, we say take it one day at a time.
Take it one day at a time. It is probably the best advice for anyone going through a hard season. If thinking about tomorrow is too scary, just focus on today. If today is too hard, you can even take it 1 hour at a time. Just survive the next hour.
Exactly. Surviving the hour is a victory. Before we share more advice about surviving hard days, let's take a quick pause.
If you are finding value in this quiet conversation, please do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the English Cipher channel, and share it with a friend who is learning English.
Yes, please do. And if you are still listening with us, please comment the phrase "never give up" below. We read all of your comments.
We really do. We love seeing our community support each other. Okay, let's get back to our topic.
We were talking about taking life one day at a time. Another thing that helps is having a support system.
A support system? That sounds like a computer term. What does it mean for human beings?
A support system is the group of people you trust with your heart. It can be your family, your close friends, or even a good counselor or doctor. When my world falls apart, I need my support system to hold me up.
Yes, we all need someone to listen to us. And sometimes we need a friend to make us laugh. Humor is actually a great tool for hard days. We call it comic relief.
Comic relief? What is that? Is it like medicine for sadness?
In a way, yes. It means finding something funny to break the heavy tension, even in a very dark situation.
It is true. Sometimes crying so much makes you physically exhausted. A small laugh feels like a glass of cold water in the desert.
Exactly. Life is heavy, but not every single minute has to be serious. We can still laugh at silly things.
But what if someone is dealing with a very big tragedy? How can they laugh?
They laugh because they are still human. Joy and pain can exist in the exact same heart at the exact same time.
Joy and pain can exist at the same time. That is beautiful, Elias, and it is very true.
When things go wrong, we also need to talk about resilience. This is an excellent, advanced vocabulary word for our listeners.
Resilience. How do you explain resilience in simple English?
Resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties. It is how fast you can stand back up after life pushes you down.
Ah, I see. It is like a rubber band. When you stretch a rubber band, it snaps back to its original shape.
Perfect example. In conversational English, we use the phrasal verb bounce back. Resilient people bounce back from failure.
I do not always bounce back very fast, Elias. Sometimes I stay on the floor for a long time, just resting and worrying.
And that is perfectly okay, Maya. Resilience is not a race. You are allowed to rest on the floor for a while. Healing takes time.
That makes me feel much better. Resting is so important. If you push yourself too hard for too long, you will experience burnout.
Burnout. Can you explain that word for our friends listening? It is a very common modern word.
Burnout is when your mind and your body are completely empty. You have zero energy left because you have carried too much stress for too long.
Adding, yes, when you have burnout, you cannot work properly. You cannot think clearly. And you usually get physically sick. Your body forces you to stop.
I experienced burnout a few years ago. I thought my career was completely over. I wanted to give up forever.
But you didn't give up. What did you do to rebuild your life after that experience?
I had to use another very good English phrase. I had to start from scratch. I had to relearn how to rest and how to work in a healthy way.
Start from scratch means starting over from zero. It means building something entirely new from the very beginning.
It is very scary to start from scratch. You feel like you wasted a lot of time in the past. But the truth is, nothing is ever wasted.
That is so true. Every mistake and every failure teaches you a valuable lesson for your new start. The skills you learned before your burnout helped you build a better life later.
We call that finding the silver lining. That is a very famous English idiom.
Let's break that idiom down. Silver lining. What does the word lining mean?
A lining is the material on the inside of a jacket. So a silver lining is a bright, shiny edge on the inside of a dark gray rain cloud.
So, finding the silver lining means finding the one good thing inside a very bad situation.
Exactly. If your car breaks down on the highway, the silver lining might be that you meet a very kind mechanic who becomes a good friend.
It can be hard to see the silver lining when the storm is happening. In the storm, you only see the dark clouds.
That is why time is so important. Sometimes you only see the silver lining 5 years after the storm has passed. We have to be patient with our pain.
Yes. Another great phrase to encourage someone in a storm is hang in there. It is very common in everyday English.
Hang in there. It sounds like you are holding on to a tree branch over a big cliff.
Yes, that is the exact image. It means Do not let go. Keep holding on, even when your hands are tired and the situation is hard.
So, if my friend is having a terrible week at work, I can say, I am so sorry. Just hang in there.
Perfect. It is casual, but it shows that you care. It tells them to stay strong.
Sometimes people tell me to stay strong, but I just feel weak. I feel like I have no strength left in my body.
True strength is not about never feeling weak, Maya. True strength is admitting that you are weak and being brave enough to ask for help.
Asking for help is one of the hardest things for adults to do. We want to fix everything ourselves. We have too much pride. But asking for help is a sign of maturity, not a sign of failure.
How can someone ask for help in a simple, natural way in English?
You can simply say, I am really struggling right now. Can we talk? That is very honest and direct.
I am really struggling right now. The word struggling means you are fighting a difficult, exhausting battle.
Yes. Or you can say, I need a hand. That is a friendly, casual way to ask for physical or emotional help.
I need a hand. That is a great phrase for A1 and A2 students. It is simple, polite, and very easy to remember.
And remember, Elias, when you ask for help, you give your friends a chance to love you. You are not being a burden. You are letting people show their care.
I love that perspective. You are allowing people to show their love. That changes everything.
Another phrase we often hear when things go wrong is, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I know that is a famous saying, but I actually do not like it very much.
Really? Why don't you like that phrase, Maya?
Because sometimes trauma does not make you stronger. Sometimes it just makes you tired and sad, and you carry a scar. You don't have to become a superhero just because you suffered a tragedy.
That is a very fair point. Sometimes the only victory is that you survived. And surviving is enough.
Surviving is absolutely enough. If you are breathing today, you are winning.
Let's give our listeners a few more encouraging phrases. What else can we say to a friend in pain to show true empathy?
You can say, I am so sorry you have to go through this. It shows deep empathy.
Empathy. It means you can understand and share the feelings of another person. It is different from sympathy.
Yes, sympathy is feeling pity for someone from a distance. Empathy is sitting in the dark room with them.
Sitting in the dark with someone is beautiful. You don't bring a flashlight to fix it. You just bring your presence.
That is very poetic, Elias, and completely true. Another great phrase is, you are not alone in this.
You are not alone in this. That instantly makes the problem feel lighter. Loneliness is often the worst part of a tragedy. You feel like nobody understands your specific pain.
Yes, when I get really anxious, my brain lies to me. It tells me that nobody cares about my problems.
That is definitely a lie from anxiety. The truth is, people usually care a lot, but they simply do not know what to say. They freeze because
because they are afraid of saying the wrong thing.
Exactly. So, if you are the one suffering, sometimes you have to tell people what you need from them. You can say, I don't need advice right now. I just need you to listen.
That is a perfect boundary to set. It takes the pressure off your friend, and it gives you exactly what you need.
We have talked a lot about English words today, but what are some physical actions we can do when life is incredibly hard?
Well, drinking water and sleeping are the absolute foundation. If you do not sleep, every problem feels 10 times worse.
It is amazing how much a glass of cold water and a good nap can change your entire perspective on life.
It really is. Also, doing something physical with your hands helps, like baking bread, painting, or gardening.
Doing something with your hands stops your mind from racing. It brings your focus back to the present moment.
In psychology, we call that grounding yourself. It means bringing your attention back to the physical world around you, right now.
I need to practice grounding myself more often. My mind always wants to live in the scary future.
The future is a mystery, Maya. We only have control over this exact second. So, let's make it a calm and peaceful one.
I think this podcast episode is going to help a lot of people. It is okay to have hard days.
It is more than okay. It is guaranteed. Hard days are part of the contract of being alive.
But remember, a bad day does not define your whole life. The storm will eventually run out of rain.
That is a wonderful thought, Maya. The storm will eventually run out of rain.
We have learned so many powerful phrases today. Hit rock bottom, silver lining, overwhelmed, and bounce back.
And the most important phrase of all, never give up. Because your story is not finished yet.
Never give up. Keep taking small steps. Keep asking for help. And keep trusting the process.
Thank you all so much for spending this quiet time with us today. You are all amazing, and we believe in you.
Yes, please remember to subscribe to the English Cipher, like the video, and leave a comment below. We appreciate you all so much.
Keep practicing your English. Stay strong, stay calm, and we will see you in the next episode.
Goodbye for now.
Case closed.